Kathmandu, September 2025. Smoke rises from Singha Durbar, Nepal's government complex, as crowds of young protesters flood the streets. Some chant, others raise placards, many simply hold their phones aloft, symbols of the digital freedoms they feel have been stolen.
We want justice! We want justice!
The world is watching. What began as a ban on social media has spiraled into one of the largest youth-led uprisings in Nepal's modern history. Within days, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli is forced to resign, Parliament is set ablaze, and the question of who will lead the nation hangs in the balance. It started with a decree. In early September, the government banned 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram, citing failure to comply with registration rules. Officials called it regulation. The youth called it censorship. Overnight, millions lost access to their digital lifelines. Anger boiled. University students, gig workers, and urban youth took to the streets. The movement quickly gained a name: the Gen Z protests. The protests weren't just about social media. For years, young Nepalis have faced rising unemployment, stagnant wages, and a political system dominated by entrenched elites and Nepo kids, the children of powerful politicians groomed to inherit influence. The ban was simply the last straw. To Gen Z, it symbolized everything wrong with their government: arrogance, corruption, and disconnection from reality. The state responded with force. Tear gas choked the streets of Kathmandu, rubber bullets rained down, and in some areas, live ammunition was used. By the third day, at least 19 protesters lay dead, hundreds were injured, and thousands detained. Human rights groups condemned the brutality. But far from breaking the movement, the crackdown emboldened it. Images of bloodied students went viral across private channels, feeding more rage and determination. By September 8th, the pressure became unbearable. Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, a dominant figure in Nepalese politics for decades, resigned. His departure was historic, not just for its suddenness, but because it came directly as a result of a youth-driven uprising. Parliament, already weakened by years of instability, became a target of fury. Protesters stormed its gates, setting parts of the complex ablaze. Nepal's fragile democracy was visibly on fire. Oli's resignation was meant to calm the streets. Instead, it created a power vacuum. Protesters demanded more than a change of faces. They called for systemic reform, an interim government, and astonishingly, some put forward the name of Sushila Karki, Nepal's former Chief Justice, an outsider respected for her independence and integrity. For the first time, it seemed possible that a woman and a judge might lead the country through transition. The army was deployed, curfews imposed, soldiers patrolled Kathmandu, guarding government buildings. The international airport shut down briefly as clashes spilled toward its gates. Across the nation, fear mixed with determination. Markets wobbled. Tourism, one of Nepal's lifelines, froze. But still, the protests grew. At the heart of this uprising is a generation that refuses silence. Young people marched not just with slogans, but with ideas, calls for digital freedom, political accountability, and an end to dynastic politics. Their chants of "No more Nepo kids" echoed through Kathmandu's narrow streets. To them, democracy isn't just about elections. It's about fairness, transparency, and hope for a better future. Global eyes turned to Nepal. Neighboring India and China, both wary of instability on their borders, urged restraint. The United Nations called for dialogue. Social media giants criticized the ban that had triggered the unrest, warning that digital repression was fueling instability. And diaspora Nepalis amplified the protests online, ensuring the world could not look away. Nepal now stands at a crossroads. Will it transition toward an interim government led by trusted outsiders like Karki? Or will entrenched elites regroup and cling to power? For the protesters, nothing less than systemic change will do. For the state, survival may mean compromise or confrontation. The Gen Z uprising of 2025 is more than a protest. It is a declaration of generational power, a battle for dignity, and a test of whether one of South Asia's youngest democracies can withstand the fire of its own people. Nepal's future now belongs to its youth, and the world is watching.